Zelensky's blow-up with Trump leaves allies facing disaster. In a chaotic Oval Office meeting, the anticipated discussions between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky deteriorated into heated exchanges and raised voices alarming European officials witnessing the event. Trump stated publicly that Ukraine should come back for peace talks only when it is ready, and his allies suggested that a resolution would be unlikely as long as Zelensky remains in power. Trump expressed that without U.S. support, Ukraine's chances of winning against Russia are slim, emphasizing a possible shift from U.S. support to European responsibility for Ukraine's defense. The EU's chief diplomat voiced the need for Europe to seek new leadership, hinting at a rift forming with the U.S. as European leaders scramble to support Ukraine independently. European leaders are now faced with the dilemma of either continuing their aid to Ukraine or potentially negotiating a peace deal that could undermine Zelensky and Ukraine's sovereignty. Following the meeting, U.S. Treasury Secretary highlighted the difficulty of negotiating an economic deal with a leader resistant to peace efforts. The overarching sentiment among many European officials is that Trump's approach could alienate Ukraine and embolden Russia. In the aftermath of the meeting, there were efforts from leaders like UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to mediate and de-escalate the situation through discussions with both Trump and Zelensky. Publicly, European leaders reaffirmed their support for Ukraine, insisting that aggressors must not be mistaken for victims in this conflict. Yet, they are increasingly worried about the U.S. stance, citing warnings that U.S. support for traditional allies cannot be taken for granted anymore. With the U.S. previously leading international efforts to bolster Ukraine amid the ongoing war, the deadliest conflict in Europe since World War II, the current landscape appears grim. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called for urgent discussions among allies to address the growing challenges posed by the conflict. The earlier meetings aimed to solidify Ukraine's economic ties with the U.S. now seem jeopardized by rising tensions and differing views on dealing with Russia and President Putin. Observers criticize Zelensky for his handling of the discussions, suggesting missed opportunities for diplomacy. As both sides face an uncertain future, the situation remains precarious for Ukraine amid this ongoing conflict.